So a few years ago, when I first got my new camper, I did an RV hacks video, and I did a little bit of pest control, a little bit of countertop addition, a drain for your water heater, and a little bit of organizational storage stuff. So if that seems like a cool video for you, please check that video out. Again, I did that a little while ago. But here we are now, today. And what are we going to do now? We're going to do my RV hacks number 2. So this one's going to be a little bit different because what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this down. I have 2 hacks that I want to actually build and do for my camper, and then one that I've already done that I'll show you, and then a couple more that I've done other videos on that you won't see the video on. It'll make sense when you get there. And then we'll wrap it up with some things that I've just purchased that I think is a good upgrade for you guys. So sit back, relax, enjoy. Let's get to hack number 1. Also, let's get dusty. Alright, we are in the camper, and the first thing that we are going to tackle on this video is this situation. Now, these are my kids' bunk beds. You are in the kitchen, and as you can tell, there is nothing in between you guys. So when the kids are trying to sleep and we have lights on, it bothers them, which I understand. Or we're making a little bit of noise, it bothers them. I get it. Fully get it. So what we're going to do is we're going to address that. We're going to build a curtain system. The first thing that we need to do is we need to measure to see what size our curtain rod structure is going to have to be. And that is why we have this. So my bed, you're going to measure wall to wall. It's just 48 3/4. Okay? You got a little bit of play here, and you can make modifications as you go. Second measurement, obviously, you want to measure from underneath the mattress, and you don't want to go to the ceiling. And here's why. Because you're probably camping in the summer months when it's hot, and you want airflow for your kid to be able to breathe, and it doesn't hot box him inside there. So I'm going to leave a 4-inch gap up top to allow that thing to breathe. Also, your curtain material, get something a little more breathable. I know it would be nice if you go with something like thick and solid for noise reduction and to keep that light out, but you want your kid to be able to still breathe and sleep better when it's not 1,000 degrees in there. So again, my measurement is 28 to the ceiling, so I'm going to go 24, leave a 4-inch gap. So let's go back into the shop and start making this. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut 4 pieces at 8 inches, and that's going to give me like my feet to laying down. All I'm going to do is I'm going to measure this out, and I'm going to cut it with Sawzall. And for all these, you're going to want to deburr all of these edges. So you can use your fingers, hands, your butt, I don't care what you do. Just get all the nastiness off of them. And also I'm using 3/4 inch PVC. You could go bigger if you were rich. You probably don't want to go smaller because I think 1/2 inch would be too small. So 3/4 is going to be a good medium. Now you're going to go to cut your widthwise and your lengthwise. Just one thing you want to keep in mind is that you're not going to want to cut your pipe at exactly what your width is because of the fact that it has to stick inside this elbow. So it's only going to go to about there. So what I did is I just laid the elbows out on the workbench, and I measured from the end of the elbow to the end of the other elbow where I want it to be, and then I just kind of eyeballed the pipe. Go a little bit big because you can always trim back. I haven't figured out how to stretch PVC yet. When you figure that out, let me know. But what we're going to be using is really basic, really simple. Is we're going to be using 2 elbows and 2 T's, and then the pieces that we're cutting. So right now, I'm going to cut the long piece, and then you're going to cut 2 of your uprights, and then we'll slap it together. So now we have everything cut and deburred. We have our 4 feet, our 2 uprights, and our cross piece, and then we have our elbows and our T's. Very, very easy to put together. Don't whack it all together right away because you do have to add your curtain. So you're going to put your T's on your long piece. I think you guys know where I'm going with this. Put your elbows right there. Put your uprights. Now, the one thing is if you go a little bit longer, you can always angle it inside the camper on the bed too. So that's not really a big deal. Then you'll take your T's, and you want to put your feet in your T's like so. Now you can get super fancy if you're rich, and you can put caps on the ends of these if you want it to be better. But it's going to be, this part is actually going to be hidden by the mattress anyway. Then put your feet right over here on what I'll refer to as your legs, and bam. Now we'll bring it in the camper, see if it actually fits. Now I'm actually going to take this foot right here off, just so it doesn't poke anybody in the face. So now what we need to do now is we need to build curtains. Make curtains. I'll sew my curtains. If you don't know how to sew or don't have access to a sewing machine, here's some options for you. One is buy a shower curtain, cut it down, use it for that. 2, just throw a sheet over it. 3, I know I don't know what it is, but there's these things that you can lay down in your seams and then iron them, and that works. Or you can also hot glue too. So just do a couple of set of curtains. But now what I thought about, and this is actually probably really cool, is say you don't want the curtains thing, you don't want the PVC set up when you're throughout the day when people are here, and you don't want to be those campers. So let's sew up some curtains. Alright, so I said I can sew. I never said that I sew correctly or beautifully, but I can lay a thing of thread. So I'm not going to change out my bobbin and my thread. I'm going to just use white instead of brown because A, I don't have brown, and B, I don't feel like dealing with that at this moment. So I got my curtains cut to size. I'm just you're gonna fold, and I think it's called hemming. I'm gonna hem in the bottoms of 3 of the sides. A minute, let's just see if I still got it. Bam. It's a sewed thing. It's a hem. I believe it's a hem. So now I gotta do that on 2 more sides before I do the spot that the rod will actually go through. You remember about 35 seconds ago I said, oh, I'm not gonna change out the thread because I don't want to have to deal with the bobbin. Well, guess what just happened? Of course, I've made 2 seams and now my bobbin is out. So now I have to rethread my bobbin, which I don't even remember how to do because it's been 4 years since I've done this thing. Yeah, I've done 2 seams. I've had 2 problems so far. Now I gotta try to figure this thing out. Down here. Feel like I'm supposed to do something here. Thought this thing did something. Oh, hey, she moves. Okay, that doesn't do anything. No, this doesn't make me angry at all. Why would you ask? I don't remember how to do this. Bam, alright. And I think we're threading. Alright, so it's been 20 minutes. I've gotten thread absolutely everywhere. The needle completely and material stuck inside the machine. And I can't figure out this stupid bobbin. So everything was going swimmingly until the bobbin ran out. So now I'm breaking out the instruction manual because I'm getting extremely irritated and I'm using words that I can't put on YouTube. So now I gotta try to figure out how to actually do this thing. Try this for the 48th time. And just like that, as you can see, we now have curtains. So, pretty easy to do. Slide them open. Beautiful. It's got the vent up there. Let's move on to hack number 2. Okay, hack number 2. Now, if you're like me, your favorite part of camping is backing in the camper because you can yell whatever you want and yell at whoever you want and no one questions you because you're backing in the camper. And then my actual second favorite part, and don't tell my wife this because I know I should say, it's making memories of my family. Which, I mean, that's cool too and all. But I can't fish at home and I can make memories at home. So my favorite part is actually fishing, and whenever I have the poles out, I've seen a lot of people do this, is they'll lean it against the back of their camper. I have dogs, and the dogs are obviously on leashes because I'm a responsible dog owner. And the dog likes to, and then tangle up the lines, fall over, you got hooks on the ground. So I want to build something that I can keep the poles in the back of the camper, but I can get them up off the ground so that they don't get knocked over, they don't become a tripping hazard, and all those kinds of fun things. That's what we're going to do on hack number 2. Alright, since on the last hack you guys already see me cut PVC, I didn't want to go through and make you guys watch me cut all the PVC, but I'll show you a little bit here. Looks really fun, doesn't it? Cutting it the same way with a Sawzall. I am taking the thicker stuff and using it on the chop saw. So let's see what we got for our pieces here. So again, I'm using 3/4 inch PVC for the framing, and then the rod holder portion is going to be used 1 1/4 inch PVC. Now I'm going to space these out 5 inches apart. So first piece of PVC that we have of the 3/4 is we have two 15-inch pieces. Then we have two 4-inch pieces. We have 4 1/4. Sorry, there's 4 that are 1 1/4 inch nipples. Those are some nipples right there. Your nipples can be bigger if you want. You can go a little bit smaller with your nipples, but you need 4 nipples. You have 4 of the 1 1/4 inch PVC cut at 5 inches, and those are going to be with the rod holder portion. You have 6 90-degree elbows, and then you have 2 T's. Now let's put this thing together. The first thing you want to do is you want to grab your nipples, and then you want to grab your PVC. All right. You gotta grunt when you do it too, or people don't think you're working hard. All right. Here. Now we may have to put some pieces, that run down here, but that has been yet to be determined. I'm thinking we probably should. So, yeah, I'm going to cut probably 2 more 4-inch pieces. I'm going to put them right in here. So with the magic of camera work, bam, okay, I've never done that transition before. I hope that looks cool. So now we've got this, so this will clip on the back of the bumper. And you're probably asking yourself, how is that going to hold anything? Let me show you. So now you're going to take your rod holder pieces, your 1 1/4, and we're going to fasten them like this. Now, how are we going to do that? Hold your horses and I'll show you. So what we're going to do is we're going to drill in through these pieces. Now, okay, so you're going to want 2 drill bits here. You're going to want the first one that you're going to sink all the way through. That's what I have this for. It's 1/4 inch. And then you're going to want one that will allow your long extended bit to go all the way through. Whatever. So what I'm talking is you're going to want this bit right here. You need something long that will drive through. You'll see what I'm talking about, but you need another drill bit. I think I have dirt on my face. You're going to want to do another drill bit that will fit. You'll figure it out. Okay. First thing we're going to do is we're going to drill the 1/4 inch holes in our 1 1/4 PVC, and I just lost the drill bit. Found it. Now you're going to want to drill. You want to drill so you know that you're going to hit this thing. So put these bad boys up there. Your 2 end ones, it won't really matter. I'm going to do 2 screws in each one. So you just want to mark. You want to mark about where you want to be. And honestly, if you want them to look symmetrical or look uniform, then we can do that. You can measure it all out too. But I'm just eyeballing it because it's going to be for fishing poles. Alright, so I got everything marked. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to drill 1/4 inch hole through all these. Once you have the holes drilled through all those, take your bigger bit. Now you're only going to go through one side, one wall of the PVC. Alright, so obviously, you might want to be a little safer than that. Maybe put it in a vise. Maybe use a step bit instead of going that route. But that's what you got to do is you want to get it so that you'll be able to feed your screw in through this end, and it'll come out through this hole over here. So what I'm going to use is I have some 1-inch self-tapping sheet metal screws, and I'm just going to sink those through and screw these rod holders in my increments that I've measured out onto here. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And here it is, all finished and complete. Try to make sure that when you screw these on, that they're at least decently parallel, or your rods are running into each other. It could have been better. Use a square. I just made this nice and quick. One thing about this too is that once you're not using it, because don't leave it on the back of your trailer. Once you're done using it, it will kind of fold up a little bit more. But now let's go put this thing on and stick some rods in her. Now your rods are off the ground. You don't have to worry about dogs or anything running them over. You don't have to worry about hooks falling on the ground. And I mean, if you really wanted to, you could probably actually mount this thing to the bumper, but I'm not going to go that route because I think pulling it off will be a lot easier and a lot better. That is it for hack number 2. Hack number 3 is actually one that I did last year, and when I did that, I did a quick little video on it, and I posted it over on my Instagram and my Facebook now. What you want to do is follow me over there, because I do tend to post some stuff over there that I don't post on YouTube, and this is a perfect example of that. So I've pulled this off of Instagram, and I'm showing it to you guys now. So what this is this is a shower step type thing for the kids, or like even adults, whoever, to use. So if you're like me, you have the shower on the outside of your camper. The problem is that when the kids are trying to wash up for the end of the day, is by the time that they're done, they're just standing in mud, and now they've got to try to walk through, and now it's just defeated the purpose of even cleaning themselves up. So all they do is they stand on this little step, the water goes right through the mesh, and then they're able to put their sandals or flip-flops or whatever on, and then not track through the mud on the way out. So all this is a treated deck board that I did. I cut it down, and then I used some steel mesh that I had laying around. I roofing nailed that onto the top, and then made just a little frame so the kids don't get cut on that metal, and that's all it is. The thing is 16 inches by 24 inches. It's just big enough for these kids to be able to wash themselves up and not track mud everywhere. And I'm going to tell you what, as a parent, this has came in handy. As you can see, my kids are using it right here. So that was it for hack number 3. And those are my RV hacks that I'm building on this video. So now we are entering to the final portion of the video. And let me talk to you about 2 things that I have actually done previous videos on that fall into the RV hack situation. So first of all, and I just did a video on this a little while ago. I did another one of these. But this is the original. This is the pokey stick. Now what this is, obviously it's a fire poker. I keep this in the camper because it's wonderful. Down here is metal, and then all it is, I got it's got a pin up here. Release that pin, and now you have tongs, which is great for moving logs around in the fire. This thing is fantastic, and I absolutely love it. Hence I built another one for my house. Now again, I did a video on that. That's called the pokey stick. Now let's move over to the second one that I built, and this is called the the video is Overkill RV Step. This is for when you have those campsites that when you get to your bottom step, you look at that cliff and you go, I don't think I'm going to make it. So that's what this is for. This actually breaks down into 2 different sizes if you need it. And then it's got some solar LEDs on here, and of course the custom router. Check the video out if you think this is interesting, because honestly we use this at every single campsite because our back steps are not as low to the ground as the front, so we use this every single time. This is great. I actually built one of these for a silent auction before, and apparently people really loved it and wanted it. So those are the 2 that I've actually done videos on. Go check those videos out if you're interested in those. Now let's talk about 2 things that I've actually just purchased and that I think are really beneficial to a camper. Now you're going to see me right here. Grab bar that's on the door. Now the one that came with the camper, you can kind of see it. It's very, very small. It was hard for my kids to grab. It was hard for older people to get up into the camper also. And to be fair, when you had a few drinks, it was hard to get up there too. So this new grab bar, it folds right out, nice and easy to grab. When you're leaving, fold it right in. If you already have this in your camper, good for you. It's like 30, 35 bucks somewhere along there. Very, very worth the upgrade on that. When you install it, make sure that you silicone around all of it. You don't want any water trapped behind. Now, let's talk the final thing. So when I got this camper, and this might not apply to you if you have one of those cool LED strips along your entire awning that I used to have in my other camper, this camper had a amber light on above the door, and it was terrible. You might as well just say that I took a turn signal light, put it above the door, and that's all you had for light. It didn't do anything. I realized I think the amber is to keep bugs away. It just didn't light up anything. All it did was to go, oh, the door's right there. Basically an entrance sign. So what I did is last year the bulb burned out, so I went on Amazon and I found this LED light here. It's extremely brighter. I will post a link to the grab handle and this light in the description because I got those off Amazon. I want to say the light was between 20 and 25 bucks, somewhere on there. Super easy to wire up, and then make sure that you silicone around when you are done. So those are my whole hacks. I hope you enjoyed that. If you have some hacks that you think you should share with me, please let me know in the comments below. Obviously I camp, my family camps, and I'm always just looking to make things a little easier for us. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys in the next one.